Alléluia. 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 Brethren in Jesus Christ, Celestial Church of Christ, members all over the world. Glory be to God on high. I've come back again to continue my storytelling about the foundation of Celestial Church of Christ. Last time I just make a flyover, but today I will start by some detail which many don't know or seem not to know. At the beginning, Papa Oshofa was born Protestant Christian, Methodist Protestant Christian in Arantikomen in May 1909. And here we have the only senior sister he had, Mama Elizabeth Oshofa Gouton. Mama Elizabeth Oshofa Gouton was the only one senior sister Papa Oshofa got in his life of a one male child of his father and mother, Papa Joseph Ojuko Oshofa and Mama Alake Iyafo Fong, original from Imeko, Igbado, Ogun State. And after that, after his birth, he was sent in Zevu Zungi Ayompako, an area of Porto Novo, at the age of 7 years. And it was there he spent his first years out of his original family. The house you are seeing at the period, colonial period time, was a beautiful one. Nowadays, the house is almost 2 centuries years old. It was the house of his first catechist, Protestant catechist named Moise Wusu YANSUNNU, who was the father of Nathaniel Akoyanu YANSUNNU, the then roommate of Papa Oshofa. He will become lately the first senior evangelist of Celestial Church of Christ. So, the education by that time was tough. Papa Oshofa could not bear it. So one day, he decided to go back to his people, his father's house at Arantikomen. That house I show you was a boarding school where to train and educate young men, among them Papa Oshofa. You know, because he was not too senior when his mother died, that led him to be fearful. And he was always sick, while the life in the boarding school at that time was tough. So he left, spent some months with his father, and later on that father took him back to pastor, a Protestant pastor, local Hodanu David, who was also an uncle to Nathaniel Akojanu YANSUNNU. Soon after his arrival in that new boarding school, unfortunately for the young man, the pastor, Protestant pastor, Loko Hodanu David, was affected to Olobo in Nigeria. That's how a white pastor named Harold Garner came from Great Britain to take over. It was under his ruling times. One day he asked a young man at the boarding school under his power to go and join Mason to make bricks in order to build a new college, Protestant college, which we call today Séminaire Protestant, and bearing the name of West African Protestant University. That university is at Porto Novo, Ajache, near the suburb they call Ajara Dokoji. So, after that, Baba Joseph Ojuko Shofa, our prophet to be, father, went secretary 3 times running to see Pastor Harold Garner to explain to him how on prediction and by holy desire Papa Oshofa, our prophet to be, was born. In spite of all this, the Protestant pastor Harold Garner refused to reaccept the Papa Oshofa, our prophet to be. That's how he went and joined his father's carpentry at Ilefie, at Porto Novo, near Atake. He spent there 4 years learning carpentry. He was freed by his father some years later and started doing some odd job to have a financial and independent level, economical level. Unfortunately for him, his father, Papa Joseph Ojuko Shofa, died in June 1939. Papa Shofa, after the burial ceremony, joined the band of Porto Novo, they called Fanfare. I don't have time to show you his companion and his picture of that time, but by the grace of God, it will come time that I will show you. He was there. All his companion of that time was already married, but he, Papa Shofa, very faithful someone to Jesus Christ, didn't seem to do what his companion were doing by then, having girlfriend here and there, but he chose this girl whose name was Okuoye, Christine, who was also a chorister at the Protestant Pastor David Hodanu Loco's house by then. Unfortunately for Papa Oshofa, the girl died, and Papa Oshofa, our prophet to be, did bear that sadness more than 4-5 years. People was advising him to take another but he stood long, very long before getting married to Mama Yaman and to the here is one of the picture of Papa Oshofa, our prophet to be of then. Seeing that what he gained from fanfare, from the band, in which he was blowing trumpet by that time at Porto Novo, will not be enough to provide all his material need. And then when he was established with a wife and children, he decided to start a trading. I have to recall you that he didn't stay Protestant all the time. He noticed that his people of the Protestant mission, after the church services, they used to go and sacrifice goat, cock, and all to Juju. He was faithful. He left them. He went to join these Elijah people. He also his soul didn't accept that. He went back from there to join the Sacred Order of Service of Cherubim and Seraphim at Vegba, at the point that he became the 70th member of that church at the grade of leader, after his friend Chafe, who was the 16th member of that church. So he started doing trading of ebony. He used to go in the in the south of Dahomey, in the women rural countries, areas, to buy wood, mainly ebony, and come back to sell them at Porto Novo. It was when doing that, during the period of flood, he was left in the deep forest in the area of Aglangun, Godro, and Agonge. He was left off alone by his paddler, who meanwhile stole a part of his stew. When Papa Oshofa admonished him and lay hand on him, the terrible stomachache that Padre was having disappeared, and the man was surprised and left Papa Oshofa. Some days after his departure, there was uncommon phenomenon Papa Oshofa, our prophet to be, used to hear about. When sun disappear in bright full day, we call it in French eclipse. So the darkness came in during the daytime, and Papa Oshofa was surprised. It was after that he got the vision of a monkey with wheels, with wheel, flying wheel, with wheel, a pickup. You know, in some countries you see them when they're ruling, they are big like this, like eagle, but they are not. And snake, like a cobra. He described all, and I think we see all the Papa Oshofa said about all the scene, that scene in this book, the first volume. After that, he heard the voice, Luli, 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 3 times, meaning the grace of Jesus. Soon after, he said that he was transformed. And while wandering more than 3 months and plus in the forest, one day he decided to go out of the forest. That's how she was searching, looking for his canoe. He passed by Zinvier, Fagbe, and soon he got to he caught Num Fagbe, and after that he saw a lake